इस सवाल से you will be very clear about how equivalents work. Check it out. A quantity of 0.28 gram of the chloride of a metal yielded 0.348 gram of the sulfate of the same metal. The equivalent mass of this metal is what? How do we start this question? What is equivalent mass? Let's write the definition down. It's simply the given mass divided by number of equivalents. Okay, that's out of the way. Also, if you go right to the first principles, it's the mass that reacts with 1 mole of electrons. Well, whether it's the metal or the chloride or the sulfate, they're all going to have the same equivalents. That is the key idea that we are going to use this. Remember, when you use equivalents, there's no need of balancing. That comes from this same idea that we're talking about right over here. So, the number of equivalents in this quantity, 0.298 gram, is going to be equal to the number of equivalents in 0.348 gram of the second compound. And by definition, I can move things around and get that equivalence is going to be given mass divided by equivalent mass. Okay, that's it. Let's substitute now. What is the equivalent mass of metal, chloride and sulfate? Metal, let's take it as M because that's what we need to find. Chloride is 35.5 divided by 1 because its charge is just -1. Similarly, sulfate is going to be whatever the mass of the entire ion is divided by 2 this time because the charge is 2. Okay, I have the given mass. Now, how do I get the equivalent mass? And this is the coolest part over here. I can simply add up the equivalent mass of the individual species here, which is the metal and chloride, and I sum them up, I get the equivalent mass. It's beautiful. So the only equation you need to solve this is this right here, right? The number of equivalents in 0.298 is going to be this mass metal plus this mass, remember all of these are equivalent masses, okay? So that's it, one variable, one equation. Solve and let me know what the answer is over here. If you're still confused about why on earth is this denominator the equivalent mass, how can I just add it up? Well, do a quick check. Take aluminum sulfate, right? Then the equivalent mass would be what? Okay, the mass of one aluminum atom is 27 and it forms a 3+ ion. So I can divide it by 3, right, to get the equivalent mass of aluminum. And similarly, that of sulfate is what we've just done here, 96 by 2. Add them both up together, theoretically, that should be the equivalent mass. And that's exactly what you get, right? Some number 57 or whatever it may be. Now do it from the formula that you already know, which is the total mass of the compound divided by the charge on one ion times the number of those ions. You do the same thing, you get the answer to be 57. So hence proved. Now get back to this one right here and tell me what the answer should be for this mass M. And if you want me to solve more questions like this, leave comments and subscribe to this channel.